I have a very good friend. He lived near Jefferson in Texas. His name was Milton Watts, and he was also known as the poet of the pines. That's Pines, pines. And he was on radio and television quite a lot. And this is his life story, or more or less. It's called The Life and Times of Milton Watts, the poet of the pines. They say to our youth, go west, young man, your fame and your fortune to find. Make a new home where your cattle can roam and leave all your worries behind. I'll tell you a tale of a very long tale from Ozarks, northwest Arkansas, of a spring field that pulled by a great team of mules that arrived on the Big Cypress shore. Holding the reins of the great mule train was a no-nonsense ornery cuss. He would deal with each day in his own quiet way and couldn't abide any fuss. To Nettie, his wife, who was about to give life, he said, in your delicate condition, you'll not stand the strain, so you best take the train, and that is my final decision. At Harletown Village in this huge Texas state, he built him a rough pine log shack, a sheet iron roof with no ceiling beneath, and a kitchen attached to the back. Cured meat, cornmeal, and dried onions too, hung from rafters way over their heads. Under the house, potatoes were stored. In between the two were their beds. Life was so hard in the dirt fields each day, hoeing the acres of corn. Backs would be aching as twilight was fading, 'cause they'd been there since early in the morn. The year that this happened, 1923, 3 months before she gave life, they worked so hard to make it a home to Charlie and Nettie, his wife. Cattle to graze and a family to raise and even more land to reclaim. Imagine their joy when they had their first boy. Milton Watts was his name. On a cold winter's day with snow on the way, Milton arrived right on time. When he spoke his first words, they would swear that they heard. His first words were all said in rhyme. 1924, on the 7th of March, he was born in this sharecropper's home, while his mum and his dad gave him all they had by working themselves to the bone. Charlie would say, well, my crops all ate by and my cows have gone dry. I ain't got a thing I can do. My wife is knocked up, so I'll take up my pup and get me down for a brew. On a Saturday night, if the work had gone right, he would carry his lad shoulder high, down over the hill to the piney woods still, and get drunk neath the stars in the sky. There on a tree stump, the village idiot would jump, just a fool gyrating around, coarse humour allowed from a half-drunken crowd increased as the liquor was downed. Milton's early young days in so many ways were the best sort of life to be had. He promised his pa that he won't tell his ma, but he learnt about life from his dad. 1941, his schooling was done, drafted 1943. After 4 years no less, staff sergeant I guess, then back with the family. 1944 was a very good year. Well, that's what I heard he had said, 'cause he got him a wife to share the rest of his life, Marilyn, the girl that he wed. He worked many years and his acreage grew. His cattle were many and fat. But the engineering man built a bloody great dam and soon put an end to all that. They made a great lake of Milton Watts land, which killed off his living for sure. No cattle, no range, so his lifestyle would change. Well, he won't be a rancher no more. The congressman, senator, President Sue sat down, a name to define. A struggle indeed. They then all agreed to call it the Lake of the Pines. Milton was not a man to sit still, so he built him a jetty ashore, for this was his wish, just a boat and a fish, and to live by the Big Cypress shore. With much less to do and an idea or two, he scribbled his first tentative lines. His rhythm was great, so throughout Texas State became known as the Poet of the Pines. Oh yes, indeed, his work you should read, for his poetic work brought him fame. From the US of A to my homeland, UK, Milton Watts is surely acclaimed. The poems and stories that Milton has wrote, though I've not heard all he has penned, I hope he'll keep writing for many more years, and I'm so proud to call him my friend.